Hey, how's it going? This is Minister Gold. This is a mix-it-up tutorial on how to make a number guessing game. In my last video, I showed you how to make a command to just get a random number between two numbers of your choice. It could be 1 in 100, it could be 1 in 1,000, it could be 200 in 1,000, whatever. Just pick two numbers. It gets a random number between those two numbers. In this video, we can take it a little bit further, and I'll try to make a game out of that as well. Before we continue, if you like this video, please like it, subscribe, and if you'd like to talk with me about Twitch, mix-it-up gaming, life in general, please follow me on twitch.tv/ministergold. And if you want Mix-it-up to continue, please consider becoming a member. It helps pay for server costs. It helps to keep them continue working on Mix-it because they need to eat. So please feed the devs and pay for server costs. Go to the QR code, become a member if you value Mix-it-up. Okay, let's see. So this video, this tutorial, we are on version 1.7.102. We'll go to commands. Okay, you're gonna need 3 commands. You're going to need the random number command. If you watched my previous video, I show you how to set that up. I will mention one caveat with that. I changed the special identifier name. I'm calling it RNG. So just know that. I'm calling it RNG instead of random num because that can conflict with the $random number. Okay, but this is basically the command. This is the whole command right here for random number. Okay. Okay, let's go to the number. Well, let's go to the guess number first, actually. So this is what this is the command a user will use to guess a number. And all they have to do is type in !G space and a number between the two numbers that you set. Okay, so let's demo how this works. So I'll go !number guess. I'll go 1 and 100. And I have a timer over here on the right side. When that timer is up, it tells us who the closest guess was. I'll go !G 55 for my guess. Let's say I see someone else's guess. And I was like, okay, let me guess higher than that person. I'll go !G 56. Does not let me. It knows that I've already put in a guess, so it's not letting me guess again. So we're just gonna run these last 30 seconds up and we will see. I'm the only one who's guessing right now, so I'm obviously gonna be the closest, but let me show you what that looks like. I'll be back in roughly 20 seconds. Okay, we got the winner here was me. It says the number was 69. Nice. That was not intentional. And I was 55 away. So, oh, sorry, my number was 55 and I was 14 away. Okay. So yeah, that's how it works. That is the demo. Now let me show you how I set this up. Also, once the game has finished, it wipes out like all the people who guessed, the winners, and you can start the game again. Okay, so let's look at the guess number command. Okay, so yeah, this is for a user to guess, and let's look at the first action here. So here we're doing a file action. And we have a file called number_guesser.txt. It's very important that it says .txt. And then for the special identifier, I'm calling it existing guesser. And then we have a conditional that is checking if $existing guesser is equal to $user display name. That is checking if we already have a name that equals the name of the person using this command already. And if we do, then inside this conditional, we have a chat message saying, basically, you've already guessed. You can only guess once per game. And then we have a command action that exits the current command, just ends it. It doesn't run any more of these actions. And that's it for them. Okay, next we have a special identifier. Nope, never mind. Sorry. We have another file action. So if they have not been found to be someone who's already guessed for this game, for this round, then we append them to a file called number_guess.txt. And this text we're saving is $arg1 text. So whatever number they put, we're putting there. Okay, we have another file action, and we're appending to a file called number_guesser.txt. And this is where we're keeping track of all the guessers. If you look over here, this is also where all the guessers are. So we're keeping track of all the guessers so we can check if they've already guessed. If they have, then we reject them from guessing again. And so the text we're saving is $user display name, the name of the person using the command. Appending to this file. And appending just means add it to the last line, to the next line of that file. Okay, next we're adding a special identifier. Okay, and we're calling this number guess, make it globally usable, make it a math expression, and it's equal to $arg1 text, whatever their guess was. Okay, now this is a script. Go to the action dropdown, go down to script here, add it. Make sure this is set to JavaScript. And for this, we're checking the absolute value. So that means it's taking the difference between two numbers. And no matter what, whether that number ends up being positive or negative, it's going to just default to positive, and that'll give us the difference. So I call this function check ABS. We're providing two parameters to this function. So I call this number guess and then RNG. And then inside here we have var ABS diff. This is a variable. We're making it equal to math. Make sure the M is capitalized. .abs, that stands for absolute. And inside the parentheses we have number guess minus RNG. So these are just the parameters. And return ABS diff. And make sure you're using the same casing exactly when you're returning it. And then var result equals, and we have check ABS, open parentheses, $sign number guess, which is not the same thing as number guess. This is just a placeholder, and this is our special identifier. So we have $sign number guess here, comma, $sign RNG, and that is the random number, whatever that number is that we're getting from the random number command. Okay, next what we're doing is we're actually going to save the $sign script result to a special identifier. I'm calling it ABS guess diff, make it globally usable, making a math expression. The reason why I'm doing that is because I want the number guessing game to be able to use this number, to be able to look at this number and to check who is the closest to it. And also I want to make sure that this is a number and not a string. It's not reading it as like a series of characters and quotes versus a just a number, because those are considered different values. So yeah, this is a special identifier. Okay, we're skipping this part. This is just for testing purposes for me. You don't need to do that. But I was putting this here to check whether I was getting the difference. Okay, this is a file read and write action. Set the action for this to count lines in file, and then I have another file called number guess closest.txt, number_guess_closest.txt, and we'll save this as num closest lines. For the next line, we are adding a file read and write action. We're reading the first line from a file called number_guess_closest.txt, and this is whoever's number is the closest so far. So we'll set the line number 1. There will only be one number that is the closest. Even if someone else guesses, they will not get their number put. They will not have the closest, because it's about who gets the closest number first. And so we're saving this as closest num, no $sign. And if there is no closest number, if $sign num closest lines equals 0, then in here we're setting up a special identifier called closest num make it equal to 1,000,000, make it globally usable, and a math expression. Because if there's nothing to compare the user's guess to, then the command will just the game will just fail, because it's going to try to compare this to, well, nothing, and you need another number to compare with another number. It's not going to look at the non-existence of a number as 0. It's just going to look at that as just simply not a number. And we're doing this, we're adding a special identifier, and it's called closest num. We're making it equal to $closest num, making it globally usable, and also making a math expression in case it is not already a math expression, in case it is a being read as a series of characters. And then this is a conditional. And if dollar sign ABS guess diff is less than the current closest number, if the user's guess, if the difference between the user's guess is less than what is currently the closest number, then what we're going to do is we are removing who is the current winner. So inside here, add a file read and write action. Set it to remove specific line, which is the first one, from number underscore guess underscore winner.txt. We'll call that old guess winner. And we're now going to append to that file, to that same file, $user display name to save the current winner. And we're going to remove specific line from files, file read and write action, remove the current closest number that is in number underscore guess underscore closest.txt, called old closest num. And we're going to append to that same file $ABS guess diff, which is the current winning user's closest guess. Okay, we'll save that, and that is the user, the chatter's guessing command that they will use. Okay, and then the guessing game itself. Okay, now for the guessing game, we're going to add a command action. Run command should be in chat, called random number. We're providing it $arg1 text and $arg2 text, and the random number between those two arguments, like when I put 1 and 100, for example. Next is a chat message, and it's just telling everybody how to use the command, use !G, a number to guess. And I put that in quotes because I want to make sure the command isn't being used. So also, don't make this a wildcard, otherwise it'll definitely be used if you put this inside of the chat message. You have 2 minutes to guess the number, and that's incorrect. I've actually changed it to 1 minute. But however long you want to make it, that's up to you. I add a timer action, which is an overlay. So right here, an overlay action. So inside here, we pick the timer action. Set 60, set 96 for the font size. I'm going to make it half that size. Yellow for the color, and just keep the format as it is. For the position, I set it to percentage for the type, 90 for X and 90 for Y, and that gets it in the bottom right corner over there. For the wait, we're going to add a wait action of 60 seconds. After 60 seconds has passed, the rest happens. We're getting the winner. We're reading the first line from number underscore guess underscore winner.txt. We're calling that number guess winner. Then we also have the closest difference. We're reading the first line again, but from number underscore guess underscore closest.txt, and we're saving that as closest diff. We are counting the number of guessers. So add the file read and write action. Add that. And the reason why we're counting the number of guessers is because if there were no guessers, then we don't want to check anything else. So I have another conditional here. It's checking if $ guesser lines equals 0. If it is inside this conditional, we have a chat message that says no one guessed, we're all losers. Then a command action that just exits the command and then ends it there, doesn't calculate anything else. But if there were guessers, then we have a chat message that says $number guesser winner's guess was the closest. The number was $RNG, and they were $closest diff away from that number. And then the next two actions, we are clearing up the files. So again, we're going to add a file read and write action. We'll go underscore number, sorry, we go number underscore guesser.txt. We'll call that guesser lines. And then here we have this is a repeat action. Yeah, this is a repeat action. And we're going to repeat it $guesser lines times. And we have a file read and write action for every one of the txt files. The number underscore guesser.txt, the number underscore guess.txt, the number underscore guess underscore close.txt, and the number underscore guess underscore winner.txt. And for each of those, remove random line from file, give it a name, like deleted guesser. I left it the same every time because it doesn't matter because we're not using it after this. After we delete everything, we're not using it. So the name doesn't really matter. And that will delete everything from each of those files so that if someone runs the command again, it's starting brand new. And that is the command. That is the guessing game. And if that was a lot for you, I will leave this in Ko-Fi. I'm going to charge $2 for it. It took me time to make this, so I'm not asking for a lot, but support would be nice. If you go to my Ko-Fi, you can just download this and just make sure you just export all the commands and make the txt files that you need. And make sure that your paths match what I have, or update the paths for wherever you're putting those txt files. And that's it. Thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, please leave a like and subscribe for more mix-up tutorials. If you'd like to talk with me about Twitch, Mix-Up Gaming, life in general, please follow me on twitch.tv/miniaturegold, and please consider becoming a member of Mix-Up so they keep updating Mix It Up and making it better. All right, thanks for watching. Bye.